Alright, so I just completed a 15-day solo backpacking trip across the United Kingdom, and here's my review. In all, I spent about $2,360 or about 2,100 Great Britain pounds on this trip. I covered 3 countries, England. The cities within England were York, London, Bath, Manchester, and then I went to Wales. I covered Cardiff there. And then I went to Scotland, covered Livingston, Falkirk and Edinburgh. So 3 countries. I stayed in about 6 to 7 hostels between the 15 days. I stayed mostly at hostels to experience that life of the UK backpacker, and it was a pretty good experience. Most hostels were clean, had ample room and good conditions, great conditions to live in. Some of the other things that I noticed here, of course, that you come to expect with Great Britain is you'll see a lot of castles, a lot of Victorian and Georgian infrastructure and history from the past, many centuries in the past, which is beautiful to witness. There's a lot of churches. It's a great time. Overall, it's a very safe and secure experience. Travel, all my transportation was using the local buses, trains, tubes within the UK, within all the cities as well as within the different countries between the cities. Everything was pre-booked. I booked them a couple of weeks in advance, and it was pretty affordable. A few observations I had on this trip was, funny enough, everybody in the UK over the age of 13 seems to be vaping or smoking here, which is a pretty common sight to see. You don't really need local currency when you're traveling around Great Britain. All of the transactions, almost 99% of my transactions was on my international travel credit card from America, so I didn't really use any Great Britain pounds. People are generally friendly. They help you out whenever you need any directions, especially more so if you tell them they're a solo traveler. Pretty friendly people, unlike what the popular opinion is about British people, which was a bit surprised to find out. UK is big in the whole game culture and pub culture, so every city, every street almost has a handful of bars, if not tens of them. So there's always bars, clubs and pubs around the corner, and there's fish and chips everywhere you look, so you'll never be hungry or thirsty when you're traveling around the UK. Besides that, there's tons of free parks, botanical gardens, museums, and even sometimes palaces that are free to enter. As far as the infrastructure goes, sometimes in a rare exception where you find yourself in a heat wave in the United Kingdom, you might see that they're not very well prepared for it, as they don't really have any air conditioning in most places. So try and plan your trip if you can, not around the heat wave if possible. Other than that, speaking of talking to people here, locals, different people from different parts of the country or different countries here, of course, within the Great Britain area, have different accents, some thick, some understandable, some not really understandable. So take your time while talking to the locals so you understand what they're really saying, because they have different accents here, and it's fun and interesting and intriguing to understand and integrate and chat with them when you can. So that's my review of the Great Britain trip. 9 out of 10, great experience. Like I said, I spent about $2,800 or so dollars. That's 2,100 Great Britain pounds for a 15-day round trip flight from California, and all my expenses here. So pretty decently priced trip for 15 days in the Great Britain, and 9 out of 10. So I highly recommend you to go if you get a chance. Comment or DM me if you need the full itinerary, so I can share the details with you in case you want to do the trip similar to mine.